This is the Bravur La Corsa Rosa 4. This watch celebrates the long-running multi-stage bicycle race that takes place in Italy every year. There have been 106 editions of this race to date. It's called La Corsa Rosa, and that is Italian for the pink race. Hence all of the pink elements found on this watch, and I've got to say I'm a fan of that. I would like to see pink done more often in the wider watch market. I know Grand Seiko dabbles with it. I know Rolex dabbles with it, but it is pretty uncommon. So I'm happy to see Bravur do it with this La Corsa Rosa 4. Now, again, this is Bravur's fourth design that celebrates this race, this pink race. And I think it sits nicely next to the La Grande Boucle, the race that takes place in France, and the La Vuelta that takes place in Spain. These three models comprise the Grand Tour line of Bravur, and that's my personal favorite line from this Swedish micro brand. Now, on this particular La Corsa Rosa 4, there will be three differing shades of pink that are represented on the dial, and that will tie into the multicolored pink race leader's jersey. So a nice little Easter egg there. There will also be an upside down 13 on this minute track. That's done in pink. And this is to kind of tie into the fact that whoever wears the number 13 in this race, it's a long running tradition that they flip the number upside down just to counteract the superstition that it is an unlucky number. There is also another tie into the race. If you look at the dial texture, you'll see a very granular type of texture on the outer track, and that is meant to simulate the asphalt surfaces that the races are played out on. It's even done in a dark charcoal color. The case back has a checkered finish line pattern, and that is found on the outer edge of the exhibition crystal. This pattern is also found on the rotor in the movement, so another tie into the race. And then, of course, you'll see Grand Tour printed in the sapphire crystal for this exhibition style case back. And although the watch definitely leans heavy with the La Corsa Rosa theme, the design is meant to be versatile enough to appeal to non-cycling enthusiasts, to those who just really enjoy the look and would like to see more pink color options in the market like I would. Outside of La Corsa Rosa and that Grand Tour printing on the front and the back of this watch, I think it is doubtful that a lay watch fan would really make the racing connection. Now, every Grand Tour chronograph will be built to order, meaning when you buy the watch on the website, then Bravur assembles it, they test it. This all takes place in Bastad, Sweden. And then if there is any further regulation needed of the caliber, they will then do that in-house before sending it out to the customer. And this process from ordering it to assembling and regulating and shipping takes about 2 weeks. The watches will come from Sweden, so depending on your country, where you reside, there may or may not be an import tax associated with the purchase. Now, this LCR4 can be bought with a steel case like this one, or you can opt for a black PVD case. You can also choose between Milanese mesh or rubber or leather. I have the untreated stainless steel version on the rally style leather strap. Let's take a closer look. I really like these three shades of pink in the chronograph sub-registers. These will sit slightly below the asphalt texture outer track and the circular brushed inner dial plane. Note the polished applied markers, a pink chronograph seconds hand, and bi-finished beveled hands that carry no traditional counterbalance weight. Also see the Swedish sole Swiss heart text that flanks the bottom part of the dial. This will be in reference to Bravur being a proud Swedish brand and also having a Swiss-made chronograph within. And let's talk about this movement. This is the SW511 movement from Sellita. It is based on the Valjoux 775X caliber that is made by ETA. This is fully finished. Notice the heat-blued screws, the various striping elements, the purling, the black polished components. The caliber boasts 27 jewels It has a 4 hertz beat rate, and it has roughly 62 hours of power reserve. So not quite 3 days, but still pretty respectable for an automatic chronograph. Now, I know many of you are familiar with this trusted caliber. This has a unidirectional winding system, so the rotor spins in both directions, but it only winds the mainspring going in one direction. So this system allows for a very dominant spin of the rotor. It spins for quite a long time. And it's so powerful that it can, from time to time, shake the watch while you're wearing it if you move your wrist just right. And this spin is faintly audible. This is referred to as the Valjoux rotor wobble. And although this is a Sellita version of the caliber architecture, the wobble is present here. And I know some watch fans, they find it an endearing aspect of an automatic chronograph, while other watch fans just don't. And then there is a small part of the watch collector population that just avoids these calibers, as they don't like to be reminded occasionally that they're wearing a watch. Personally, I have no issues with it, and I have owned many Valjoux-based or Sellita versions of this architecture over the years. Again, it's not something that bothers me. The case is sharply finished. It has a good mix of brushed and polished surfaces. I do enjoy the proud sapphire crystal and how it has an adequate amount of anti-reflective treatment applied to it. The function pushers are nice and large, so there is a lot of travel here to grip and to operate. The strap is pleasantly long if you have larger wrists like I do, and the strap really feels like an above average leather strap just in terms of quality and detail. Bravur has chosen BGW9 Lume, so in bright conditions, the material appears a desaturated white, nice contrast there, and then in low light conditions, it emits a long-lasting cyan blue glow that I think looks really nice. Now let's summarize the watch and wrap up this video. I think if you enjoy traditionally sized sport watches, you're really going to love this fit. It comes in at 38.2 millimeters in case diameter. It wears very comfortably. And if you enjoy racing, I'm sure this will have an added layer of appeal, as well the other members of the Grand Tour collection from Bravur. I could see cycling enthusiasts collecting at least one variation from each featured race. And then lastly, if you really like the color pink, and you want to see more pink watches in the market, especially when they're done more subtly like this one is, I think this is going to be a watch that you want to consider. I could also see a lot of watch fans wearing this prominently during the month of October for breast cancer awareness. The retail price as shown is $2,550. It is available directly from Bravur's website, which is linked below. And I'll just clearly state my opinion here in closing. I think this watch is worthy of the price when I consider the movement, its level of decoration and regulation, the dial and the level of detail work, the case when it comes to the level of fit and finish. I think this is a solid watch out of Sweden and one that you won't see posted a lot on social media. So I would refer to this as quiet value. Please let me know if you have any questions. Links will be below. And I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. This helps my channel be seen by more people on YouTube. Thank you.